What is up guys, welcome to the room tour. So if you've not already seen the desk tour, be sure to check that out first. I'll put a link in the description and then take a look at this video, because here we're basically going to go a little bit more behind the scenes. Whilst there is a lot going on in that desk, there's also a lot going on around it, so we'll see some of the tech that I like using day to day, as well as some of the stuff that I just kind of stash away. So let's kick things off with this trophy cabinet. But instead of filling it with boring trophies, I decided to put in some things which had a little bit more of a sentimental value to me. So whilst I don't really game much more, right at the bottom we've got lots of gaming stuff. We've got some of the older games I used to play, some art books. Some of the real classics which I really enjoyed were Mario Kart, Ratchet & Clank, Worms Open Warfare, as well as Monster Hunter, which was huge back then. Something else that was quite big back in the day was trading cards. Everyone was in the playground buying, selling, trading, battling, and it was a lot of fun, so this is a little bit of a throwback to that. Moving further up, we've got hands down one of my most prized possessions. And whilst materially speaking the 100k silver plaque isn't really worth that much, to me it's an embodiment of how when you really want something, you can achieve your dreams. And just above that, we've got the entire selection of my past handheld consoles. Well, I say entire collection, there's 6 of them, but these were quite a big part of my life. We've got the original Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Advance, the SP, the DS, PlayStation Portable, and then the older version of the PlayStation Vita. And then right on top, we've got something which, to the untrained eye at least, might look like a piece of garbage. But it couldn't be further, because this is the very original hologram generator that I used in my viral video. And this video that I made, for those of you who don't know, is by far my most viewed video and was almost a turning point for this channel. It could be the reason I'm still doing it today. So due to the kind of door and spatial limitations, there isn't too much else going on that side of the room, but on the other side of the bed, we've then got a chair. And whilst I've totally forgotten where I originally got it from, this has to be one of the best investments I've ever made. I call this the idea chair because not only is it good for gaming or for reading, but sitting there it just inspires you to think. And just next to that is a non-exploding Segway, which I should probably use more often, to be honest. Now, if any of you guys are doing up your own rooms anytime soon, something I thoroughly recommend is LEDs under the bed. It gives it almost like a majestic, ambient, magical kind of feel to it, and it really lifts the bed up. It almost makes it look like it's floating. And just under that, I've got nothing really of much interest. I've got a couple of books. I used to read a lot of horror books, so some of those, as well as some illustration books. There's something about watching sort of painting or artwork come together that, to be honest, for me when I was a kid was really inspiring. And that little basket on the end just has a couple of the cooler presents I've been given every now and again. So just next to the desk, we've got pretty much an entire wall of tech products, most of which I don't use on a day-to-day basis, but quite a few of which I do. The PlayStation Vita, for example, even though it's completely flopped as a console in terms of its sales, honestly offers some pretty unrivaled experiences. I really like the UE Boom 2. As far as connectivity goes, this is one of the best. I pretty much keep this on my desk and connect with all my devices. I've got the iPad Air, which is really awesome for full screen productivity tasks, and the Nvidia Shield tablet pretty much takes care of the mobile gaming side of things. Every now and again I'll pick up the new 3DS XL. Not for its graphics or controls, but more just because of its exclusive titles. And if there's something I want to read, more fiction books than anything, I tend to use the Nook. And out of everything, probably my most used item is the Mighty Mug. Pretty much every cup of tea I have is in this guy because you just can't knock it over. So moving a little bit further right, we've got a second glass cabinet. But instead of sentimental things in this one, I've got more of the cooler products that I own. So at the bottom we've got the Oukitel K10000, which is not only a gigantic smartphone, but also one boasting a 10,000 mAh battery. We've got the James Donkey 007, a fully programmable modular mouse which I just fell in love with after my first review. And just above that we've got the Mech RC, which is a fully programmable dancing robot. So guys, that's the room tour. This whole thing has taken me something like 2 years to put together, and let's just say a fair bit of cashola. If you haven't already watched the original desk setup video, I really would recommend it, so I'll leave a link to that in the description. So if you did enjoy the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and with that being said, I'm Mr. Who's the Boss, and I'm signing out.